What's up, Shrewdness? It is time to talk about the final game of the season, the Super Bowl, or the Snoozer Bowl, as we, as you'll hear our opinion tonight. We could talk about the Puppy Bowl, but we are gonna break down the Super Bowl. It is the finale. It is the game that everyone in the world almost watches. So we're gonna go in depth on that. We're gonna talk a little about what's coming in the coming weeks for the Shrewdness since football season is over. But before we do that, let's dive right in. The penultimate game of the NFL season, the one we all look forward to, now for 2 years in a row has not been very good. And this year, we had kind of hoped we would get a good matchup because we had two teams that were coming in really hot and two teams that had good defenses that were relying a little more on the defense and the offense. But this week we saw one that didn't have any offense in the first half. X, what do you think about what you saw on Sunday?
Well, if you were still awake by halftime, congratulations, especially if you'd been consuming a couple alcoholic beverages watching this game, 'cause that was the most entertaining part, is what your next beer was going to be. 9-0 at halftime. The odds. So I personally went and looked for Myers on the Super Bowl MVP list. Couldn't find him at first. But at the start of the third quarter, he finally showed up at plus 700. I threw a couple bucks
really?
on there. And then when it was 12-0, I was like, whoo, this boring shutout game of 12-nothingness, I might land a pretty good return on Myers winning the MVP as a kicker.
Yeah.
Right?
The fact that I'm excited about talking about that part is really kind of where we're at.
If
So
you
through
saw
three-
nothing else, you should know that talking
Yeah, for
about
the-
kicker for MVP is not usually a topic.
Especially Dexter, who despises kickers. So.
Oh my gosh. You should know. Yeah, it doesn't take much. But when your kicker is kind of not having to work very hard on 35-yard field goals, that always helps. But through 45 minutes of this game, 12-0, exceptionally sleepy. And then I guess you can call the fourth quarter exciting.
An explosion of points.
Yeah, I mean, there's 30 points, so it screwed everybody that took the late game and you wanted to get the under, and everybody's like, it dropped from 45.5 down to, I think, 29 points at one point. I'm sure it was lower. I didn't look again in the third quarter. But I know it got down to 29, and then they put up 30 points in the fourth quarter alone, because of course. So a 45.5 hit for the under. We were pretty proud of that one.
Yeah.
And really, this game, I think, if you just look at the stats, it doesn't look as bad when you look at stats. I didn't realize Drake May finished with nearly 300 yards, 295, 2 touchdowns. Like, this sounds like a pretty good game. No, it wasn't.
I think in the first half he had like
86 or something like that. At halftime, he wasn't. But this game, I think we can all agree, was one team could run the ball with Kenneth Walker in Seattle, and the other team, they actually ran the ball in the first quarter and then just stopped. So Ramondre Stevenson was actually doing okay for New England, but I don't know why you would panic when you're only down 12-0 at the end of the third quarter. Why would you just stop running? But Ramondre Stevenson had no carries in the second half. In fact, he only had 2 in the second quarter. So 7 total, 5 in the first quarter, 2 in the second quarter, 0 and 0. So when you just take away a whole part of your, and he wasn't doing that bad. I mean,
No.
he was ripping off a few carries. So it's very strange to me. But Prue, what do you think about how they? Was there anything interesting to you in this game until the very end? We'll do like the first 45 minutes, which is a real game.
No, it was very much like we predicted, right? We were like, in order for New England to have a chance, it's going to have to be low scoring. And it was very low scoring for them. So, it was kind of like we thought it would be. I think you were hoping for a few more offensive plays from New England to keep them in the game. But, we knew it'd be a struggle offensively. Defense was going to reign supreme. I don't know. It wasn't that exciting because of the good defense on both sides.
I wouldn't necessarily say Darnold won the game, but he didn't lose it. And that was kind of the thing we said. Like, as long as he just manages the game and makes some plays, they'll probably win it. And they did. I thought New England would make a play and keep it close. and not really. I mean,
the first touchdown was a nice play, but it was way too little, too late. Yeah,
yeah,
exactly.
No, it was. The Mac Hollins catch was nice. Good play, good throw, great ball. It's what we expected to see quite a bit more of in the first 3 quarters. And just congrats to Seattle for just locking it down. But Chip, what stood out to you in this game, other than the obvious of no scoring for 3 quarters? What stood out from?
Well, I'll tell you, when the game started, I was kind of hopeful that it was going to be closer than I thought, because if you guys remember, I thought it was going to be a blowout.
31-10 blowout.
I thought it was going to be a blowout on the side of Seattle. But in the first quarter, the first couple drives, it looked like New England ran the routes better than the Seattle receivers. I was like, holy crap, they are ready. They know what is coming. This is crazy. And I'm like, they're gonna put a surprise in people here.
Yeah, they were jumping the routes. It really looked like it was going to be a pick 6. Like like Sam Darnold barely avoided. I don't even inches. Inches might be too many. Maybe inch from getting a pick 6. And Gonzalez was a blanket. He's exactly what we thought he would be. I mean, he shut down his guys. I mean, Jackson Smith and Jigma did hardly anything. So
that part was great, but they were just so freaking inept on the offensive side of the ball, and it looked like, I get you've got Drake May, he's a young guy, but just think about this. This guy was 1 vote away from being the MVP of the league.
Yeah,
and like, if he would won MVP and then put that stinker out for, like, I know he almost threw for 300 yards, but let's get real. That's garbage time. He had garbage time yardage. That he threw 2 picks. He threw 1 pick 6. I didn't understand their game. I didn't know what they were trying to do. It didn't seem like they knew what they were trying to do. And if you would have told me going in that the team that went 4 of 16 on 3rd downs would win, like, that's
especially this type of game.
That's how bad the offenses were. That 25% 3rd down conversion equated to a 16-point victory.
I was pretty surprised that Josh McDaniel, the offensive coordinator for the Patriots, didn't have a better game plan. Like, and maybe it's just that's how good Seattle was. It could really truly be that. But when you figure that you just stopped running after this first drive or second drive of the second quarter and didn't run again with your main back, and then it doesn't seem like they did any. Like, Drake May had nowhere to go on half these plays. So, I mean, you can kind of call it on him. Defense suffocating sounds good, but if you're an offensive coordinator, help your kid out, man. Like, give him some releases, short ones. You're tied in. Hunter Henry, I don't think he caught a ball until the 4th quarter. And
I kept waiting for that because it was clear, very clear out of the gate that Seattle's defensive line was obliterating. It reminded me of the Chiefs Tampa Bay Super Bowl, where it was like, holy crap, like, Mahomes is running for his life every play, and that's exactly what's happened with May. He was blanketed. Even when he was getting the ball off, he was getting hit when he was getting the ball off, and he was clearly rattled after that. So I kept thinking, like, some screens, some little tight end outs.
Absolutely.
Something. And they just didn't. And I was like, what? It was bizarre. I mean, there must be something that they saw that we didn't. But
probably they're a little more
a little more
coordinators than us.
There could be. I mean,
maybe might be something.
So that's a good point, Chiz. I did notice, and I think this is probably the answer to your question, Dex, on why they stopped running the ball, is that they didn't even have to have linebackers making tackles on the running plays.
You're right.
Their front four
D-line was rushing,
dominating, and the play I'm thinking of in particular was just a pretty basic run, like a B gap run off the left side, and Seattle's D tackle and D end just kind of squeezed together. Just both of them just like pushed their offensive lineman out of the way. They squeezed together and closed the gap, and Stevenson just had nowhere to go. And so I think they saw it early. It was just like, this is going to be a non-factor.
So with the sheer amount of blitzes that Drake May was facing, I just kept thinking there'd be an outlet and he would burn the blitzer one of these times.
Yeah.
And I couldn't believe it was 0. mean, I'm sure there's one in there, but you know what I mean. It's just hardly ever did they take advantage of a blitzing. I feel like when our teams are blitzing, all they do is get torched. Like, oh, that's the right play call at the right time for that defense. Yeah. And so they come storming in, and suddenly it's a walk. And the thing is, that almost happened to the Patriots. Smith and Jigba, if you recall, earlier in the game, was naked, 10, 15 yards behind the last defender, and Darnold just overthrew it on that particular play.
Yeah.
Like, this game could have gotten out of hand pretty quick.
Totally.
But again, I feel like it was a closer game than what it looked like. It was a domination by Seattle, yes. But these throws by Darnold were just so precise. It almost looked like maybe a little bit luck. They weren't necessarily completions of Smith and Jigba, but they weren't picks. So he's putting it where the other team couldn't get it. And I guess that's a good way of doing it. I mean,
Chris Collinsworth made that point a couple times. He's like, these are not always the like, I wouldn't advise this throw, but he put it exactly where he needed to.
Yeah,
into double coverage, the one that I'm thinking of, and it wasn't a catch, but he had a couple of maybe ill-advised throws that he got away with.
I mean, he kind of did what he did all season, though. He didn't lose the game. I mean, you know, he threw 200 yards, 1 touchdown. He, didn't run really. I expected to see more. I did. Of course, it's a Super Bowl, so I bet like 3,000 prop bets, and so
hit none of them because they're all unders.
If they're all unders, you're in good shape.
The only 2 that I recall hitting, at least, were I thought Darnold would run more, so I bet the Darnold over on his rushing, and he barely got that one. I expected him to run a lot more. Yeah. And designed, I expected more designed runs. His only runs really were crap runs,
scrambles.
But that was one thing that shocked me. And then I did have the over on his interceptions because, I just thought May would, get a little rattled by this defense. He did, but the lack of reaction was what was probably most surprising to me. The fact that they didn't involve that they did involve Diggs more. He only had 3 targets. Like, Diggs, 3 targets.
Yeah, 3 for 37 in the Super Bowl from your number 1 wideout is concerning. And it's almost like, especially when you're down, like. Normally you pass a little bit more, and he's the guy that can move the chains for you. He's not doing your deep routes. And Mac Hollins turned into the guy running those routes. That was barefoot really Mac. Odd choice for that, but hey. And even DeMario Douglas, like, he led the team in receptions in the Super Bowl. Pop Douglas, 5 for 45. Also surprising.
So weird.
Because the guys you thought would move it, Diggs and Henry, and even Trevion got a couple at the end, but not what you'd think. And Booty just had the one big play in the first quarter. 1 for 21. I thought we were going to see more of that. I just really did. Yeah.
After the first one, I was like, ooh, that would have been a good over to take. Because we talked last week about the possible chink in their armor getting burned deep on the outside.
They only did once. Well, twice. I guess Matt Collins got him too.
I wouldn't call that a burn, though. I mean, that was pretty well thrown and pretty well defended. Just, it was a great play. But
there was some interesting, looking at some of the breakdowns. I forwarded you guys. Chase Daniel is a really good follow if you guys don't follow him. But Chase Daniel, backup for 20 years in the NFL. You can see why he was a backup, because he's incredibly cerebral and he really breaks down film really well. And he showed how overly aggressive that New England was being and how Seattle played into that. They saw them jumping those routes that we all saw, and it was setting up stuff for later in the game.
Safety coming down every time, and all of a sudden, the safety should have stayed back because you're getting deep now.
Then A.J. Barner gets behind him. Right. That's how he scores.
That's right. And you that's the kind of stuff that is next level stuff that you see these coaches do, where it's they see something in the first quarter and they're middle note, this guy's doing this, and the next
on
chance
this formation they're playing us the same way every time. And
and I do think that Seattle is going to miss Kubiak,
because just I think it'll be just like the Detroit Lions losing Ben Johnson.
Yeah.
I don't think it'll be that big of a deal unless you find the next great one. But it's hard to keep finding those guys. That's why they disappear and become head coaches so fast.
Yeah, there's a reason, right?
Absolutely.
Well, that brings me
on the defensive side, Chiz. I saw something similar, and they picked up on something, and they noted that in a certain formation, the Patriots never ran a hitch route with a certain receiver. So that guy's defender every time on that formation was blitzing every time.
Oh wow!
Because they knew they didn't have to cover the short one.
That's pretty cool.
He was running a post or something across the middle or whatever.
So
they're like, we're bringing that guy every time, and they showed it 3 different times, and they got home twice out of the 3, and I think the other one Drake, rolled out and threw it away or something. But they found something like that and just continue to go after it.
Yeah, that's awesome.
And to have how many sacks were 6 for the Seattle and one for the Patriots. I mean, 6 sacks. I don't think that's a Super Bowl record, but it's a hell of a lot for your quarterback to be taking that many sacks. It was a Super Bowl record for number of field goals. Which is another reason I thought Myers would maybe get the MVP.
There was a year.
Yeah.
Right? This
would have been it. And frankly, if he would have gotten it, it wouldn't have been that outlandish.
No,
I mean, Kenneth Walker, thankfully, and that's the thing. So if there's a person, when we were talking in the kind of third quarter, just amongst everybody, like, God, who's the MVP in this game, this slugfest? Right. It was basically Kenneth Walker and Myers. No one was talking about the quarterbacks. And as the defensive players, there's not one that stood out. I think 5 different people had a sack, or 6, I guess. So no one really stood out that. The pick 6 at the end, maybe, but the game was out of hand. It's not like that was
point.
It didn't really matter.
But Kenneth Walker, the first carry of the game, he set the tone with that 10-yard run to the left side. Like, oh, this isn't going to be good if that's what this looks like.
Right.
And he just kept ripping off big runs. He had a 20-yarder. He had a 30-yarder. He had that 10.
Yeah. Yep.
He was a beast in this game.
I wonder when the last time, though, the Super Bowl MVP didn't have a touchdown. Like, that is like that's crazy.
That is pretty odd. We'll have to look that up between now and next week or something.
We talked last week. 160 yards of offense.
Right.
I think that's
a
pretty
lot.
good. I think that's
a
pretty good.
lot of yards, but like to not get in the end zone is bizarre because usually
they've had a couple.
Kind of,
we were speculating last week. When did we say last? Was it
Terrell Davis in 98?
98.
Yeah.
He had
so
3
it's been a long
touchdowns.
time, and he had 3 touchdowns in that game. So we were thinking that Walker would have to clear 100 easily and score at least.
We thought he was going to have to get 2.
Twice?
I think we said. Yeah. I think we thought he'd have to get a couple touchdowns, and I really did think that was going to be the case. But
you have to take it from the winning team, though, right? So it became either Myers. It's not Darnold, 200 yards. No, that's pedestrian.
I mean, he threw for a touchdown.
Yeah, but again, it was kind of late.
200 is pretty, I'll say,
pedestrian.
easy.
Yeah. Tom Brady.
Right?
You can look that
A.J.
one up.
Barner?
Yeah, Cooper Kupp led the team with 6 catches for 60 yards, but also no touchdowns. Nothing really phenomenal. Right. He made some catches. Good job. It was really only 2 choices. Again, the kicker could have won it for the first time. I think first time ever, right? Or did we find out there was one way back in the day?
I don't think so. I think it was all defensive and running backs.
Yeah. I don't think there's ever been a kicker.
The run on quarterbacks the last 30 years or whatever.
Right.
Most years it's a quarterback, but
I don't think there's ever been a kicker do it. But you're right. When a guy goes 5 for 5, he accounted for
a low scoring game.
17 points of the 29.
Yeah,
it's a pretty good case for a kicker.
For 45 minutes, it was only him.
Yeah, totally.
So he was the scoring.
So I have to ask Dex, not to breach a tough topic or sensitive subject, but I know that as a Vikings fan, you regularly get kicked in the jimmies, and I was wondering,
kick me in the jimmy, harder.
And the jimmies or just the jimmy?
Again, kick me in the jimmy. I don't remember how Beavis and Butthead said it. They might have said, the coach might have said it twice.
I was
think he
wondering,
said it twice, but it's singular, Jimmy.
Is it a special kick in the Jimmy to see Sam Darnold win the Super Bowl after
winning 14 games last year
at the end of last season?
I will say that there were many Vikings fans who were fine with signing him to a 2-year deal and letting J.J. McCarthy just sit underneath and learn, since he did not even play his rookie year because he was hurt. So we didn't know what we still didn't know what we had, and we knew what Sam Darnold could do: win 14+ games, get you the playoffs, and with one more year in the system, how good could he have been? Yeah, that's a, what ifs, right? It's what it is. But what is really troubling now is that he's gone, and now they're talking about Kirk Cousins, but Kirk Cousins isn't in the same boat as Sam Darnold now. Kirk Cousins is far older and just looks like a shell of himself, and Atlanta cut him. But now because he's cut, like, I could go back home. Man, he didn't look that good in Atlanta. I mean, I don't know if I want to go that. It's not like he was throwing to dregs. I mean, Drake London and Bijan Robinson are pretty helpful to a quarterback.
Right.
Kyle Pitts had his best season, I think, since his rookie year.
It was.
So it's not like he didn't have tools, and he played the last 5 or 6 games with Penix out. I don't really want Kirk Cousins, and there's not a lot out there now, which sucks.
I think Cousins would be great in a backup role.
But I do.
But he wants to be a starter.
Yeah.
And I don't know. I think we're in a weird pickle now. And Daniel Jones got hurt late, so he's going to be kind of in the Patrick Mahomes issue. Like, getting injured late in the season is not good for free agent quarterbacks. And I think Daniel Jones just on the 1-year deal. I mean, otherwise he wouldn't have been bad. And now it turns out, I mean, Rumor Mill is fantastic. I love Rumor Mill. I mean, there's depending on your team, I'm sure they don't all say this, but Joe Burrow for 3 first-round picks, 3 second-round picks, and J.J. McCarthy.
Right.
It's kind of palatable. Vikings fan, like, wow.
That's how
I think we're good enough to win next year. If we get Joe Burrow and everything else stays the same, screw picks, man. We'll figure it out.
And he'd be an incredible upgrade, obviously, for like the first 5 games until he gets the season.
Until he's out for the year again. No, he does every other year, though. He's going to be comeback player of the year for the 3rd time next year.
That's true.
He's kind of a yo-yo.
So speaking more of Darnold, who is the quarterback that he comps to who's won a Super Bowl? Like, what's the closest guy that you can think of in recent history that has won a Super Bowl that you're like, yeah, he's probably about like, because you got to go back always, right? Because he's clearly not Mahomes. He's clearly not Brady. He's not even Hurts.
No.
Maybe Nick Foles?
Is it Foles?
He's not a rushing quarterback. Foles didn't run much. He managed the game and let the defense win it, and that's what Foles did.
Yeah.
And that's probably that's probably
my closest, most recent one I can think of. Yeah, because he's not Brady and Manning and Wilson. Maybe Joe Flacco kind of as well.
Yeah, maybe Flacco. I don't even know that he's as good of a. I don't even know that he's as good of a passer as Flacco or Manning. Yeah, like I think Foles might be a decent comp for him because he's a guy who's like. It's weird to say this. He just won the Super Bowl.
Yeah,
but he's kind of like borderline starter talent, right? Like he's like.
Well, I think he was. I don't think that's a question anymore.
Yeah.
I think if he hasn't proven it in his last 2 seasons, throwing for 9,000 yards, 60+ touchdowns, and 28 regular season wins, I don't know what you got to do.
That's true.
So I think Sam Darnold has definitely etched himself in as a QB1, and he's certainly in the top half of the league. I mean, we talked about this the other day when we were kind of making fun of Shedeur Sanders making the Pro Bowl for the AFC. Last man standing. When you go to the NFC, there's also a pretty crippling drop-off after the first chunk of quarterbacks. I mean, Michael Penix, really? I mean, Sam Darnold's way better than him. And you can go down the list. There's quite a few. And even like Bryce Young, is he better than him? I think so. I'd rather have Sam Darnold than Bryce Young, and he's on the come up, sure. But I just think that he's for certain top 6, 7 in his conference, and that probably puts him top 12 in the league. And so if you have a top 12 quarterback, you're good to go.
The fact that so many teams have seen something in him and been willing to take him on, and he's had to prove himself over and over, and he keeps finding a job around the league. So it's not like he's
quickly.
Is there a guy who I can't think of a quarterback who took as long to develop as he did? I mean, to get to, like you said, Dex, he's obviously a starter, and he's obviously a top 6 or 7 in his conference, but like 5 teams, right?
Yeah.
The backup for a couple of those teams.
And they didn't even want him as the backup, after a while. So it was like, is there anybody that you can think of who took this long to develop and then got to this point in their careers? I can't think of any. Usually it's really quickly determined in the NFL. Hey, you're a starting caliber quarterback, a couple 3 seasons, and it's like, hey, you're a starter or you're not. You're going to be a backup guy.
You stay a not once you've gone past year 4 or 5.
Right.
If you still don't have it by then, I'd be like Kenny Pickett resurrecting his career in 2 seasons from now and like going to a Super Bowl. Do you see that? I don't know. You can almost say if Baker Mayfield, because he was okay for Cleveland.
Yeah.
Okay, right? But not that good. Then he had kind of the same deal, right? Went to Carolina, and then he went to St. Louis, and then he went to Tampa. And with Tampa, he finally found a coach and a system that worked for him.
Right.
And by all accounts, we were talking about him playing MVP caliber for the beginning of the season, Baker Mayfield.
Yeah.
So I guess he'd be another one that's kind of in that boat.
Last year, he was a top 4 in fantasy scoring and stuff. Like he was putting up legit,
like 40+ touchdowns, didn't he, or close to it?
Something like that.
Right.
That's a good comp too, I think, as far as the career path and all that. Do you think any of that is like confidence? Like Baker's very outspoken and confident.
Baker doesn't lack confidence for sure.
Right.
Yeah.
But do you think a guy like Darnold was not a starter earlier because he's just quieter and less confident, and like he's not going to be one that comes in and tries to own the clubhouse type guy?
I could see that.
Could that have something to do with it?
He's not a boisterous guy. He's not a guy that comes in with a bunch of swagger like some of these starting quarterbacks. And since it didn't start really well, maybe question himself. Maybe and like, make no mistake, like in terms of arm talent, it's not, the guy doesn't have like top tier arm talent. Right? But he makes good decisions. He doesn't turn the ball over. He kind of knows what he is. He's not, I don't want to call him a system quarterback. He feels like he's a little more than a system quarterback, but
I think so. Again, he had a couple really good wideouts that had really good years underneath him. And a system quarterback, I feel like you can't really make stars out of people because you just throw check downs all the time.
Yeah.
And you have Justin Jefferson, who he had a phenomenal Pro Bowl year last year. And then this year, obviously Jackson Smith and Jigba led the league in yards.
Yeah.
And so, and it certainly wasn't because the running game was helping him that much. It wasn't bad. Don't get me wrong. Kenneth Walker and Zach Charbonnet, they're fine running backs. It's a good NFL tandem. But you feel like you can probably have better out there. Yeah. Kenneth Walker said, "Whatever, dude. I'm a Super Bowl MVP.
Right.
Whatever."
I was just really impressed with how he stepped into Minnesota. He picked up the offense quickly. They win 14 games. Moved to Seattle, picked up the offense. They won the freaking Super Bowl. He seems like
it's pretty incredible.
Sharp guy, understands the coach's vision, gets on board, figures things out, executes plays. He doesn't have to be the superstar. He can just.
You think he comps to like kind of an Alex Smith type quarterback?
Yeah,
I got different ones. It might be Alex Smith runs too much and was too athletic.
True.
How about Brad Johnson and Kirk Cousins?
Oh,
Like Brad Johnson from way back in the day.
I did think about Kirk Cousins. Like
And Kirk Cousins, he doesn't run, and he can
yeah.
throw, and he can make things happen. I think they're pretty similar, really.
Yeah, that's a decent. Those are decent comps too. It's really going to be interesting to see where he goes now. Like, does he remain at this level, or was this a mirage for a couple seasons where everything just had to happen and follow? Like, he had a great defense and whatever. I don't think he is. I don't think he's a mirage, but he could. You have seen guys like that have like had a couple years of pretty good ball, and then all of a sudden they're just
fall off a cliff.
Remember that draft class, right? He got drafted before Josh Allen and Lamar Jackson.
Yes.
Who have had a few good years. So
he did.
I think they got a couple left too.
Yeah,
right?
I think he'll play good ball the next 2 or 3 years, and then he'll probably start dropping off.
Yeah, and now he's got that confidence. So another guy I wanted to ask you guys about is Kenneth Walker. So what do you see from him now? So he's a free agent. The world is his oyster. He's going to have a lot of bidders probably because there are a lot of bona fide starters in the NFL from a running back standpoint. What is he? What do you think Kenneth Walker is, and where do you think, he could fit? And is he a top 10? Is this guy a top 10 running back now in the NFL?
That's tough, in my opinion, to call him a top 10, but he is talented. I mean, I think, is that Michigan State, right? And he won the Doak Walker Award for the best college running back last year. So he clearly has talent. The thing is, he's never had to shoulder it all by himself. He does have an injury history. Like we usually make fun of it during draft time, and you'll hear us again in July when we start our guillotine fantasy football kind of talk again.
Yeah.
Kenneth Walker will always be a little bit lower on the list because he's a tandem back who you have to wonder if he's going to be questionable or playing some weeks.
Yeah.
This is probably his most healthy season I remember.
Yeah. For real. I think that's probably right.
I don't know.
We had him ranked 16th in our picks 16th? before this season. Right?
Okay.
He probably climbed up ahead of a few others, but
yeah, he's probably made a move up for sure. But top 10,
I don't know if he's
me to get to 10.
Yeah, I don't know if he's cleared 6 other guys ahead of him in this list.
And there's going to be some more people drafted in this upcoming draft class, like Jeremiah Love. I feel like he's going to slide into a top 15 spot, depending on where he lands. I mean, I guess there's always a chance he doesn't get any carries or whatever, but hard to think that a top 15 draft pick will not be having plenty of opportunity next year.
He's probably going to end up like Ashton Genty, getting a lot of load wherever he goes, right? So
now it looks like he's slotted pretty well. Like, if you just flashed some of these names past me that we had ranked lower than him, I would say yes, he's definitely better than all those guys still. You could make a case for, I don't know, maybe Dobbins, Scadaboo, a couple guys that kind of stepped up
coming
this
back
year.
From injury too, those guys will be kind of nicked on the rankings just because of that.
Yes.
As far as free agency, I think kind of where you're getting to, Chiz, he's going to have a market for sure.
Oh yeah,
and
100%.
he just helped himself a ton by not only he was the only bright spot in the Super Bowl for the whole game is basically Kenneth Walker. He's running over people and just big carries.
Kicking performance.
That incredible kicking performance by Myers. That was amazing. I will say I do feel like he's a guy who has talent. I feel like he's a guy somebody's going to overpay for. I feel like he's going to I think they're going to say Super Bowl MVP. Like he only had to shoulder the load for 2 games this year.
Final 2 games. Yeah.
Like if you're taking him and you're like, this is my bell horse cow every down back.
Yeah. It's hard for me to see him that way.
Me too. I don't know that I don't know if that's going to work. I don't know, but it seems like the kind of money he's going to want, he's going to need to be that guy. He's going to need to be a guy that's like every down, right?
Yeah.
So
it is.
It's going to be interesting to see where he falls.
He's only 25. He'll be 26 next season in the middle of it, like in October. That's not that
prime
old.
Years.
It is. And so if you're going to do a 3 or 4 year contract, you'd get all of those years in his 20s. You get that. It's a magical year for a reason. the 30.
Yeah.
You don't want to be on the wrong side of 30. That's where Aaron Jones is for the Vikings. You're like, wrong side of 30. And you just worry that they can't. You don't worry. They can't make it through seasons. They just don't.
Yeah.
Just
and even if they can, they all of a sudden they Austin Eckler, and you're like, what? Yeah. What happened? Like, this guy just fell off a cliff, right?
And I think what's helping him also maintain value is the split load. So he doesn't have as many carries. He only has like the 175, 200 carries. He had 221 carries this season. And he only has 800 total in his career. So I think that helps if you're going to get a guy like that. The mileage isn't there, right? You're just like getting a used car with only like, I got a 5-year-old car with only 22,000 miles. That's pretty good.
Totally.
And instead of 60,000 miles, because when you look at Christian McCaffrey and Saquon Barkley, those guys are getting touches, 350 to 400 touches a season.
Yeah.
Vice, 250. I mean,
That's
150 less touches. That's unbelievable.
That's a big difference over the course of a career.
And the only thing I think will hamper him in this offseason for contracts, he can't catch. I mean, that one just hit him in the face and he fell over. I mean, it was almost like target practice, like, Stone Paws Jackson. And then the type of offenses that teams run now, I mean, it's hard to find that classic 90s, early 2000s 3-down back. They're there. Saquon Barkley is one of them. I think Cam Scatterby will be one of them. The guys that can really catch. Christian McCaffrey, obviously, he never comes out. So there's some dudes out there. I just don't know if he's it. And so if you're a first and second down back and you still rotate series, like full-blown series, he didn't even touch the field in some quarters with Seattle. Look at Zach Charbonnet's quarter. And good for him, but it makes it really hard, I think, to count on him as if you're going to get him to pay the amount of money you're going to have to pay. I think Seattle's I think they'll overpay for their own guy because now there's going to be some public affairs pressure of like,
for sure. You just got a Super Bowl MVP, man.
So you don't want to pay the guy? All right. That's kind of weird. So I don't know if he's going to Ezekiel Elliott his way into like an overpriced contract or Le'Veon Bell overpriced contract. But he might. We'll have to see.
It'll probably be more than I would be willing to pay, as an owner. But somebody will pay him a 4-year deal, get him through the rest of his 20s. He'll be probably good for 3 of those years, and he'll be oft injured in 3 of those years, probably.
Yep.
But when he's in the game, he's capable of shouldering the load for a few games, right? When he needs to.
Oh, for sure.
So if you're a smart coach and you're kind of maintaining his workload throughout the season, and he needs to carry the load for a Super Bowl game, he clearly can.
No, for sure.
Somebody will pay him a 4-year deal.
He's gonna be interesting. I agree, Brew. So, last question for you guys. You got to ask this at the end of the year always. Super Bowl round rolls around next year. Either of these teams got a chance of coming back to it. What do you think?
I don't think New England will get there.
No.
Because I think they were a product of their schedule. And yes, you have to beat who's in front of you.
True.
I think they're going to be competitive, but I also think Buffalo is going to be competitive. I also think Baltimore is going to be back. I think Cincinnati, if they keep Burrow, is going to be back. I think the Chiefs are going to be back. I think the Chargers and Broncos are going to be tough. There's just so many good teams. They got there.
Yeah.
And even Houston, I mean, if they would have played half-ass of a game and not just shrouded it, they should have been there. And again, Denver, they had to play with Stidham. So they just got a lot of breaks to get there. I think they're going to be a very good team. I think they'll compete in their division. I'm not going to say they can't win it. For sure, I think they can win it. But I think to get all the way to the Super Bowl again, that's hard. I don't know if he gets back there next year. I see a lot of teams I would pick ahead of them.
Yeah.
I just mentioned a chunk of them. So that's
Just the sheer odds, I'm going to say no. They have no shot at getting back next year.
Yeah.
There's too many other teams that
it is.
For whatever reason, this was kind of like the stars.
Well, it
totally didn't align this year for a lot of teams, right?
Yeah, I agree. And as I was watching this game, Prue, I thought, like, how frustrating it must be if you're a Denver fan.
Oh man,
think
or
like
a Buffalo fan,
or a Buffalo fan,
Buffalo for
or a
sure.
Houston fan, or like because literally any of those teams. Sorry, New England, I'm going to crap on you a little bit here now, but I think any of those teams put up a better showing in the Super Bowl than what New England did. I mean, I think Houston had the defense to compete with them
Yep.
for sure. I think that would have been a real slugfest. It may have been 3-0 at halftime in that game.
Maybe finish
Um,
9-3.
Denver had a great defense, and if you had
Yep.
Bo Nix going into that game, you never know. And of course, I think Buffalo wins that Super Bowl. So I mean,
Definitely think Josh Allen would have made that far more competitive.
Way more interesting.
Right?
Yeah. Yeah.
So, like, I feel like New England got a lot of breaks this year, and good for them. Hey,
Yep, used
you
them all
take
to
the
get
breaks,
there.
and as a fan, you don't care how you get there. You got a
Nope.
shot at it, you take it. But so, what about the Seattle side of the ball?
They've got a better chance, I think. What do you think,
Yeah.
Drew?
Yeah, I would agree. It'll be interesting to see where Walker goes. I think he was a big piece of their winning formula. Cooper Kupp's
Losing
not
your
getting any
OC.
younger.
I know. That's what I was going to come back to. Is like
Kubiak.
I didn't think Detroit would take such a big hit losing their two coordinators. They were good, but they just weren't the same. It just wasn't. They weren't on the right tracks, the right rails. They just weren't there this year. And I think Detroit still has all the talent to get there next year. I think they'll be a tough out. Chicago clearly is going the right direction. Green Bay.
Yep.
I mean, if you have Micah Parsons, do you think they might not be there anyway? I don't know.
Right.
I mean,
Right. Yeah.
That's totally
defensive player of the year when he went out.
yeah.
That's such a good illustration of like what kind of full team effort it takes to get to the Super Bowl. Right. And somebody that never steps on the field the whole year goes away, like Kubiak, right? And or in this case, Ben Johnson this year for the Lions, and it's like the dude never saw the field, right?
Yeah.
He was the mastermind behind all the goings on the offensive side of the ball, and that shows up, and that's that is a key piece of a winning team.
It also shows how thin the line between success and failure in the NFL is.
Yeah.
You see that, I think I sent you guys a tweet where one of my buddies was saying, like, hey, if this play goes differently, it was a play in that Seattle
Rams game.
Yep.
Yeah.
Where they had the weird touchdown that was like the backwards pass or whatever. It ended up being anyway, it ended up breaking Seattle's way. And he's like, if this breaks the other way, they probably aren't even in the Super Bowl. And one play like that.
Well, if the guy catches the punt, are you there? Because that was the
Right.
play that decided it. Really pushed it the other direction. I mean, the
Totally.
Rams, no one would have been. That would not have been an upset if they would have won.
No.
I mean, they were too awesome. It's like 1A, 1B.
Yeah.
And if San Francisco had all their parts, I mean, 1C. I mean, that whole division was incredible, but you lost all your best guys. No Fred Warner, no Nick Bosa.
Totally.
They still got deep in the playoffs. So that's why I think it's going to be same like Seattle. It's going to be hard to win the division next year.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
That's true.
it's hard this year. They had a great season, but I don't know. I think the way the parity in the NFL is going, and look how many coaching changes we've had. And you've seen what happens with a good coach on a new team and the difference it can make immediately. Immediately, a 10-win swing for Mike Vrabel.
Yeah.
Immediately, 9 or 10 games for Chicago. Like, huge turn.
Yeah.
And so you just see these. You think that's not going to happen next year with some of these? So there's going to be teams that come out of nowhere. I mean, Liam Cohen at Jacksonville. That team was good. They, frankly, I thought they should have won that first game in the playoffs. But, I mean, play goes here or there, and there you are. So I think it's just going to be really hard for either of these teams to get back. Not impossible. The one with the best shot, I think clearly we agree, is Seattle. I mean, New England.
I agree.
Man, that's going to – if they get there next year, there's a lot of things that change quickly.
That'll be
right again.
That'll be amazing. I'm going to have to give them full respect because
absolutely.
I
don't see it.
I can't see it. I can't see them getting everything break like it did this year. Is there a team that you guys, as we head to the off season, that you think has a chance? Both of these two teams were very low odds
Oh
or
yeah,
very high odds, however you look at it,
yeah.
to make the Super Bowl. Do you guys have a team circled for next year that you think could do something similar? Kind of shock us all, make a run, have everything break their way. Do you guys have a team that you've got on the radar like that?
One.
Okay.
I've got one team that I think could surprise everybody.
Yeah.
And it's one we've talked about, and I think they got the best coach in the offseason too, is the New York Giants. So I think with Harbaugh,
That's who I have circled as well in the NFC.
and I having the quarterback that I think is good enough to be at that level, matched
Yeah.
with one of the best wideouts in the game, matched with one of the most hard-hitting running backs. If they can shore up the line a little bit more in the draft and free agency and get a couple pieces on defense, I mean, they've got some good pieces on defense, but if you can just hit a few things and then free agency, I think they could immediately win the NFC East. And if you're there at that point, now you're in the playoffs, you only have to win a couple, and if they end up getting that bye, I don't know if they'll be the top team in the NFC, but whatever.
Right.
They'll be. I could see them hosting a game or two, and if that's the case, I don't know why they couldn't run it next year. So I think
Yeah.
my pick for those teams that they're picking 5th overall, and I think
Right.
they could swing it all the way back and be picking in the late 20s next year. So that's the team I'm looking at.
Okay. I like it. Brew, you got any that you're high on?
I would really like to see Atlanta take a step forward. I think they've got
Stefanski,
a lot of offensive pieces. They got a brand new coach, good coach. It'll be interesting to see their quarterback situation if Penix can step up and start making more plays. They definitely have talent around him, I think, to win some games. And that's a weak division, like we pointed out many times. So they could easily win their division next year, I think. And you surprise one team in the playoffs. Now you got enough confidence you could take that pretty deep. So
I'm going to go
not betting on
with
them yet, but
no,
but they could step
Ryan,
up.
though. Yeah,
Yep,
it's hard,
keep an eye on
right? It's hard because you're talking about teams that, like, I mean, these teams were not good last year, and then they're in the Super Bowl. You know,
Right.
so like that's a big turnaround. So it's hard to predict that. If there's one I'm interested in that's in that similar boat, same division as you, Dex, but I'm interested in the Commanders.
yeah.
I feel like they had kind of a weird, just snake bitten, awful season. Like out of the gate, everything went wrong, and like I don't feel like they're a 5-12 team, and they're gonna get some more talent. And you know, the defense got old. They need to get some new defensive players, so they got to make some changes for sure. But they've got an electric quarterback.
Yep.
He can stay healthy, and they pair some things around him. That's a team that I could see making another kind of interesting run in the NFC. These are all stretches, of course, for all of us because you're looking at really bad teams and thinking they're going to make
Dallas
a big shift.
And Philly are still pretty darn good.
Yeah,
It's not like they're going anywhere, and they still
Nope.
have Pro Bowl talent quarterbacks, and
Yep.
Jalen
That's
Hurts
right.
and Dak Prescott don't suck.
Nope.
And Saquon
They're-
Barkley doesn't suck. Their defenses are pretty good. So I think
Yeah.
that's going to be a hard division
Yeah.
next year. The NFC
Oh.
East winner,
Yeah.
that's going to be a slugfest, I think.
Super hard division next year for
Let
sure.
me go to the bottom 4 teams and see if you
Yep.
have any hope for the fan bases. Tennessee. So you got Robert Saleh, Cam Ward, and company. They were 3-14 this year. Any hope for them even being 500 next year? That's what I thought.
I'm going to say a game under 500.
Okay.
I'll say 8
Yeah.
9 is about the best
I
they
think,
can hope for.
unfortunately, the Jaguars are on the come up in that division.
Yep.
Texans are really
Yep.
going to be good still defensively. I don't know
They're
what the
still
Colts will
young.
be, but who knows, depending on their quarterback situation, all that. But I
Yep.
can't see them 500 next year. I
Yeah.
can't see
Either.
the Titans 500.
All right. Arizona Cardinals. just look like a team in general disarray. Just a trash heap burning as it rolls down the hill. Like, I don't know what you do with Arizona. I mean, they're talking about getting rid of Kyler Murray. He sounds like that leash is snapped. Sounds like he's not going to be there. You're going to trade him or just release him, it sounds like, which is, he just signed a huge contract like 2 years ago, right? And I don't know, that's going to be a hit. But they don't have much.
14,
3 or 4.
Yeah.
Okay.
So they have Trey McBride, and you got Maserati. So you got obviously a good wideout.
Yeah.
And then that's kind of it. I mean, you have James Conner is kind of old. So you got Harrison and McBride and nothing else. And the defense isn't that good. And they're 3-14. Any hope, specifically given the division they're in that we just talked about?
The division is ridiculous.
The buzzsaw.
Like, I don't see.
How are they anything but fourth again next year?
I mean, if everything breaks right and in the division, I think the best they could do would be
6
2 and 4.
Oh, in the division, yeah. I was thinking like 6 wins overall would be the best I can see.
I was thinking, 4 or 5 is most likely. 6 would be like absolute best, I think.
Yeah.
That's
you're not going to get more than 2 wins.
Downtown Phoenix if you get 6 wins.
Yeah.
And we don't even know the quarterback yet. It could be Jacoby Brissett. He did fine.
That gives him a better chance than Kyler,
does.
I think. But
it does give him a better chance than Kyler, but
that's tough.
No.
All right, how about the New York Jets? So Aaron Glenn in year 2.
Stop it.
With there's not even a quarterback there. And Garrett Wilson might get traded, which would probably be the best thing for him. Breece Hall is a free agent.
He's a free agent.
He's gone. He's not re-signing there. There's not.
They might be
is there
worse.
a more hopeless team in the league than the New York Jets?
Might be
Like,
worse
is there
than
anybody
this
like,
last year.
God, at least I'm not a blank fan? I think it's Jets each time. It's like just the saddest fan base with the bleakest outlook. And then you lost a tiebreaker for the first pick. You win 3 wins, you're picking third.
They are really bad.
They're embarrassingly bad.
And they gave up 503 points this year. 503 points, and like
that's
only team
the defensive-minded coach.
That's what the defensive-minded coach. The only team that gave up more was the Dallas Cowboys, and we know how bad their defense was. So
that was at the beginning of the year where they're giving up 45 a game.
Yeah,
and then they
I don't see.
fixed it.
I really think you're right when you say like, is there a more hopeless fan base? I can't see one. Like, there's no bright. Like, at least if you're Arizona, you're like, we got Trey McBride. He's the best tight end in the league. You know,
and Marvin Harrison. I mean, he's.
Right.
He was a 3rd, 4th overall pick in the draft. He's got plenty of talent. He looked better this year than his rookie year. So I think he's trending right in year 3 wideout. So that could be good.
So
all right,
who's
lastly,
the 4th one?
The last hope team is the Las Vegas Raiders. So speaking of a gauntlet buzzsaw division, it's pretty darn good. I mean, I know the Chiefs were down. We all know that. But the Raiders have the number 1 pick this year, right? And they are projected to take Mendoza and from the championship winning Indiana Hoosiers.
Yeah.
So you got that coupled with Brock Bowers, Ashton Genty. There's a little more hope, and Max Crosby's still there and wants to be there, so he shouldn't be going anywhere. You've got more pieces there. I think there's more hope if I'm a Raiders fan than the other 3 teams I mentioned. Do you guys agree, or do you think they'll just suck again next year?
You're getting Kubiak as your head coach too.
That should help.
Yeah,
like
that's a good point.
You never know if a coordinator can make that jump, but he is a really good offensive mind. And with those guys and those young guys, you would think they're at least going to be competitive offensively.
Yeah,
they may still have a lot to have to do on the defensive side of the ball, but of the bottom 4, I think they're the team I like the most.
Yeah,
that's where I'm at too.
Like, I could see them being 500.
Yep,
it's a tough division. I don't know. I don't know. I mean, I think 7 and 10 is
division.
Probably
You're right.
7 and 10 is probably the best I could see them doing. But
because
they're in 3 and 14 though.
Yes.
Yeah.
If you can double the win total, and then
that would be a shift the right direction. You know, they would start building.
The reason
some
I think they'll still be kind of a struggle bus next year is no matter what happens, you have a rookie quarterback, or you have some old, washed-up free agent guy who's just going to try and hold the seat for a minute. Because if you give Mendoza start week one, I mean, I don't know who they're playing, but who cares? Anyone in your division, that's not going to be good. Those are all three good defenses that you're going against.
They needed major investment in their offensive line, and
yes, otherwise just keep getting plastered, pasted.
I don't think they can do all those things at once. So,
right.
Here's what I do see, though. I think there's going to be a regression from Denver.
I do too.
I don't think they're going to have the same kind of season they did. I don't know what the Chargers are going to be because.
New coordinator will help me. Mike McDaniel's going to the Chargers. I think can only help.
They should be good, but like the Chargers are the Chargers, and no matter what you think, they're going to do the other thing. So you never know what they're going to be, and so like, and the Chiefs are going to be better.
They will.
So it's kind of a weird division, but I do think you're right. Like they're probably the most hope. I hate to say that. The Raiders, but at the end of the day, they probably are.
But out of the bottom feeders, it's kind of what's up. I mean, because I agree with. Yeah, go ahead.
What about Cleveland? You didn't mention them, but
they're fifth.
Yeah,
they're not quite as bad as the other four.
They had almost twice as many wins as those guys.
Yeah.
And I think in Cleveland, you can see a path. I mean, I think Quinshon Judkins, the running back's really good. They've got the defensive player of the year, the rookie defensive player of the year. I mean, that's helpful. And their O-line's not horrible, but you got to be able to get the ball out. And starting a carousel of rookies. I don't know what Deshaun Watson. Why is he still there sucking up money? I mean, when can they cut him? I don't understand that.
I don't know.
And so you just have all these weird things there that, God, that's why it's a headache. That's why that job would blow.
No idea who the quarterback's going to be. That's like a
no clue. Refer to my earlier statement about the entire team being front office and everything included.
That's right.
They just do not set themselves up well to have.
I mean, you do have a Pro Bowl quarterback, so we're saying no quarterback.
That's true.
They've got a Pro Bowl quarterback right there.
That's right.
In his rookie year, no less.
Yeah.
So
I mean, the future's bright, actually. The future's bright in Cleveland.
Got a Pro Bowl
quarterback. Got a good running back. Good tight end.
Harold Fannin.
Yeah.
Harold Fannin. Totally forgot about him. He was incredible this year. So he was.
I like him a lot.
Very good bright spot. But Quinshon Judkins, like we were saying, going down the stretch for fantasy, he was one that you could count on.
Yeah.
And that was when they were stacking the line with 8 in the box, and he was still running through them. So I think there's some hope there. All right, well, I think that kind of runs down that. I want to kind of highlight what we're going to be going to. So we're going to turn into a sports variety show. So we're going to be talking some college hoops. We're going to be talking some NBA, some hockey, kind of the main stories. We're not going to just, if you want to get all hockey, you find yourself a hockey podcast. You want all NBA, we're not there. But if you want to just kind of touch us so you can go to the bar that weekend and talk to some folks.
That's right.
And have a little bit of nuggets here and there. We're your peeps. The Shrewdness has got you. And so we're going to be kind of hitting into some of that. It'll be a good time. We're going to be talking about some drafts. So NFL draft that's kind of the only thing to look forward to in the desolate grayness of the season being over and then waiting until August is the NFL draft in April. So we'll be getting some of those previews again. Those were a lot of fun. And I don't know, we're just going to see where they fall, and then we'll have a little show afterwards. So after the NFL draft, we'll talk about where they all went, what we think about it. So that'll be a good time. What else are we going to hit on, boys? What else are we going to talk about?
Well, we got for the next couple of weeks, we got the Olympics, which we'll talk about. We won't talk about a ton, unfortunately. The Lindsey Vonn story is the negative that's happening right now. We were all rooting for her.
Yeah,
devastating injury. But there's going to be a lot of fun stuff going on. We'll talk about some of the personalities that come out of that. There's always some interesting personalities that come out of the Olympics. We've got March Madness coming up, which we'll talk about. Got the Masters. We don't talk a lot of golf, but it's the Masters.
We hit the big ones.
Got to talk about.
We'll talk about the Masters. And then this summer, you got the World Cup, which is, hey, every 4 years, we all like to pretend like we know whether these teams are good or not, and we'll be really good at helping you pretend. So
yep, and coming right up. So right up next, we do quite a bit of baseball. We'll have a Royals tent, so we'll definitely hit on that. But we talk about all of it, so don't worry. We're big baseball fans. We're also going to be talking about the World Baseball Classic, which should be a lot of fun. Starts in a couple weeks from now, which is going to be a blast. We're going to have Team USA is going to be pretty good.
Stacked.
Pretty good.
Stacked this year.
So we got all sorts of fun players in that. We'll talk about that as we get close. And kind of the other teams, because it's amazing how many major leaguers are on it. And then also, where they get some of these retread guys that were like your SP7 for your favorite team back in the day. Ends up starting for Team Canada or Team UK.
That's right. Yeah.
Team Germany gets some fun ones. So,
absolutely.
But they all end up competing pretty well. So it's like town ball in like your state.
Yeah.
And they end up being on the big stage, national stage. So I love the World Baseball Classic. It's awesome.
I'm super excited to actually watch Team Italy this year because they got two Royals, Jack Caglione and Vinny Pasquantino.
Yeah.
So that's going to be a fun watch. So you do see some of these guys that are. I was looking through the rosters the other day, and we'll talk about when we get into it. But there are some guys who, were definitely tangential players that will be like prominent for their country. Yeah. And that's fun. That'll be a fun competition. So there's always fun stuff going on in sports. We will always be covering you that. We'll always have some football because that's primarily what we are. If there's any kind of off-season stuff that happens, we'll talk about all that too.
Yep.
But at the end of the day, we just like to spend time together talking about fun stuff. So we'll cover a lot of different things. Hopefully you guys tune in. Don't forget too, if you got something you want us to cover, let us know.
Yeah.
Say, hey man, I'd love it if you guys did an episode on what. Put it in there. We'll have some guests in the off season too. We don't have time to do, so we'll have some folks come on that bring different perspective, different ideas and thoughts. So stay tuned for that stuff too. Please like, watch, subscribe, do all that stuff on the socials because we'll do all the updates there for sure.
You don't need to bother commenting on Olympic curling. We already planned to cover that. So
we are in deep on Olympic curling. So I know there's other curling podcasts out there, but you're never going to get the same kind of coverage that you get here at the show.
I mean, did you guys see when the U.S. team had the hammer today and they
that was amazing.
Added the blocker and then they kind of
what a great
they were scraping the ice like champs.
What a great end.
Really brushing it.
Only on the Shrewdness will you hear stuff like the ice was fast the other day. It was fast. So, that's the kind of analysis you'll get here on curling. So hang with us. Please send to a friend. We will also do some gambling stuff as it comes up. We'll probably figure out different ways to incorporate stuff that's fun in gambling, especially come NCAA tourney time, that sort of thing. It's always fun. So we'll do all that. But just in general, we love sports. We love hanging out. We love having fun. If you love that, you're in the right spot.
Here we go.
Come on along.
All right. Well, that'll wrap it up for this week's episode. Next week, we'll be talking about, some Olympic stories that come up and kind of what else is newsworthy. So whatever pops up this week in sports, we'll be hitting that. So be ready for that. In the meantime, as always, till next week, stay shrewd.
Stay shrewd.